family. Being joined today by Schylar, Ashwood. He ain't high, he's sky high, baby. The voice of Colorado, the man that brings life to some of these Mo Truckers entrances, because you know some of them don't have that life. I'm looking at you, Niles. No, I'm kidding. I love you, Niles. You're a beautiful person.
I do my best. I like to think I succeed maybe like 90% of the time.
Beyond what is expected of you. Let's put it that way. All right. Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate all the times we've done commentary, which has only been a few times, but man, do we have fun when we're doing it? I appreciate the energy you bring to the locker room. Everyone loves you. You know, like I said in the post, you're a made man here in Colorado. So I'm happy to have you here on a sweet spot, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate I appreciate your time here. It's not often that as ancillary talent that you get your opportunity to tell your story, or that somebody wants to interview you. So thank you. I appreciate you bringing me on. We were talking a little bit before I came on here. Like for my day job, like I prep people to do stuff like this. So it's a little kind of like new ground for me to be on this side of the camera. Yeah. So trying to just like remember all those little tips and tricks that I use to get people to calm down and get on stuff like this, have a good time. And yeah, it's a whole lot different of a story. You're trying to practice what you preach.
Yeah, and here I am just diving into it head first, no training.
Oh, it's all
like,
good.
Hey, let's do it.
you do fantastically at it. I've seen what you've done with some other people. I watched your interview with JV Vernola, who is a very good friend of mine, last night. Yeah. I watched your you've done a whole lot in like the short time.
I think I'm at like 9 so far.
Yeah.
Brokeback Billy, Chad, JV, Jack Moody. I mean,
Jack Moody, that was the other one that I was thinking of.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Oh, dude. So I could tell you a little story about Jack Moody. Just kicking this off here. So I've been an announcer going on about 2 years now. And I said whenever I got into this, like, I am not ever getting in that ring. I am too damn old. I am 35. I was 35 when I started. And everybody kept throwing that damn DDP example at me. Like, oh, DDP got in the ring whenever he was 35, 36. You can do it too. I'm like, I want to get in there. Like, dude, like I have an immense amount of respect for the wrestlers that get in there and like put their bodies through what they do night after night, whether it's here on the independents or whether it's on the big leagues, WWE, AEW, etc., especially some of the insane stuff we saw last night at Forbidden Door. I'm like, Jesus, but I don't think that was something that I could ever do. And my excuse was like, I'm too old, I'm too banged up, I'm a military vet, so that took its toll on me, and on. Well, lo and behold, it was a it wasn't the Taco Fest. We were in Fort Morgan. It was a show in Fort Morgan where I met Jack Moody. That's the first time I worked a show with him, and had a really good summer that he was out here. And last show he worked before he left, he told me, he's like, hey, are you ever going to get in the ring? I was like, nah. I told him, like, I'm too old, too banged up. And he's like, how old are you? I was like, I'm 35. Turns out Jack is not, like, I think I had like maybe 2 or 3 years on him. And he's like, I'm close to your age, and I didn't start that long ago. And he told me where I could shove that excuse. So he's like, next time I see you, I want to see you training. And he saw me training. Absolutely loved it. I'm going to put this out there, and I'm probably going to regret it. I've got like a lot of things I'm looking into right now to see like if I can get back in the ring. But if I can, one day I want in that ring one-on-one with the man that got me in there, and that's Jack Moody.
That'd be fun.
That would. If that can ever happen, I would absolutely love that. He's out here in Colorado all the time, so yeah.
That's what I'm gonna say. He's always out here, so it's gonna be something that we can definitely make happen. You just gotta start busting your butt.
It actually almost happened. We were both in the Red Rock Rumble at CSW this last time, but he got eliminated before I came out there, and he was very close to my number. I think within 10 entries. And I told him backstage, I was like, "Hey, if you're still out there, I'm coming for you." Just to get that spot in with him. So yeah, I don't think I've thanked him for telling me like, hey, don't use that as a crutch, don't use that as an excuse, because getting in the few times that I have, it's so much fun. I
can only imagine.
And it's like one of those things. Like I never thought as a kid that I ever actually would do that. In the back of your mind, you always want to. In the back of your mind, when you're sitting there playing like WWE 2K games or the old THQ games from our generation.
Dude, even with your action figures,
everybody makes themselves and puts yourselves in that ring, in those matches, and like to being able to live that out just a few times, especially some friends of mine, and like and to have been in there with Effie, for crying out loud, which BT does.
Right?
Shout out to Effie. Sorry I came straight for you in the battle royal. It was just business, man. But to have lived that out, like you can't put a price tag on that, man.
Yeah, that's you talked about how we all of us, I mean, especially in our generation now, like being 35, 36, we all grew up playing those wrestling video games. We all had SmackDowns. We all had the WWE Raws. We were able to create your character.
Yep.
What was your character? What was Schylar's first creator wrestler? Because I'll give you mine too. So let's share some fun here.
Oh, my first creator wrestler. Oh God, I was telling this story to it's a tie-in to a story that I was telling to Ira and JV when we were out at I can't remember the name of that freaking restaurant. Sandwich shop, but they have the
Tiba Hut.
Tiba Hut, yes. We were out at Tiba Hut, and I saw that Tiba Hut had that electric blue lemonade Kool-Aid. So growing up, I had a funny story about that I got my ass beat in the name of Jesus by my grandmother, because I'm watching the Great Muda and the Great Kabuki on TV.
Oh no! Oh no! Keep going. Oh no!
That electric blue lemonade.
Your poor grandmother. This poor woman.
My grandma with the electric blue lemonade. And
you missed your grandma? Oh my God!
Dude, I wasn't even like 10 years old at the time. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but yes. So yeah, there's like tie-ins with like that and me and the blue Kool-Aid, and that's immediately where my mind goes whenever I think about that or when I see that stuff. So naturally, my first created character was just like me in like white long tights with like blue print down the side and like a white t-shirt, blue print. White and blue has kind of always been my thing, and lo and behold, it's my brand today. And I had him, I don't know if I gave him like blue hair or something, but like I had gave him Gangrel's entrance because Gangrel came out spitting the blood, and I just like pictured him spitting that blue mist.
Yes.
And, so that was mine, the mist thing, which I was totally popped whenever Asuka started spitting the blue mist instead of the green.
Do you remember what the name of your character was? Or was it just Schylar?
It was just Schylar. I wasn't very creative back in the day. I mean, hell, it took me a long time to come up with the ring name that I have. So,
I understand. I fully get it for a long time. And I just bit my first created character in a wrestling game. I 100% just bit a Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah.
So at the time, Mortal Kombat Trilogy was a big thing. And one of the characters was Cyrax, and I loved Cyrax. That was just my dude. So That was my name in my wrestling games. I would create a character that looked like me, whatever, but his name was Cyrax. Yeah. I thought that was super edgy.
Nice.
Yeah, and my buddy's name was Daryl, and he used to call himself Daredevil.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Eventually, I transformed. And it's so silly where I got the name. So, growing up, a Hot Topic was kind of the place to go, right? And they had those big, huge, ridiculous, baggy pants with the straps, and a brand on there was named Trans 9, and I fell in love with that name. And so Trans 9, TRANZ 9, and boy, I just rolled with that forever. DDT 123, Walls of Jericho. I did my other finisher was a corkscrew frog splash, so like a rotating 360 in the air. But that was fun. Yeah, I rode that out for a long time.
I forgot about the finishers thing. I've always been
there you go.
I've always been partial to the cutter.
Yeah,
I would never ever use it in the ring because it is so freaking overdone on the indies. But yeah, my finisher there was always the cutter or some variation of it, and I was always partial to the sharpshooter. But I can't do that.
Yeah.
That's Nikki Chase is running with that, and she does a pretty damn good one too.
So then you do the Scorpion Deathlock. You know what I'm saying? Just switch sides.
Oh yeah.
See, completely different move.
But no, shout out to her. I'm a little bit of a snob whenever it comes to the sharpshooter, just because I've loved that move for so long, and I've seen so many not great ones. And Nikki just does a fantastic one. Which also, shout out to the Canadian Pitbull. She was taught by a Canadian how to do that move, so of course hers is going to look good. Came from the source.
Yeah, that's they're one of the really good up and comers here in Colorado. Nikki has a huge ceiling ahead of them before I don't see them even like having a ceiling. You know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
They are immensely talented.
And she's her and Logan Chase. People surprise the hell out of me that I train with and that I meet and that I see in the ring. Because I thought whenever I got into this, like, okay, I'm going to be in there, or I'm going to be around a bunch of like 21 to 25-year-olds. Heck no. And Logan Chase, Nikki Chase are two of, I'll go out on a limb and say it, they're two of the hottest up and comers in the Colorado area scene here. And they're around my age. I'm like, really?
Just goes to show what some hard work and a little bit of time will do for you. Because Nikki has definitely put in the hard work. Same with Chase. Both of them have put in a ton of hard work, and it shows. Another name, out there, Urza.
I love Urza so much, and she knows it.
Aren't they? They're insane in the ring. Crazy talented.
Absolutely. Just I've been in training with all three of them. And to see, I've gotten there early with Urza before, and she is like just throwing lion salts and 450s. And I don't think I've seen her do a shooting star press. I wouldn't doubt her ability to do so, but I'm just like, how are you like so athletic and so like agile? And putting on like amazing match after amazing match.
Amazing.
Very impressive.
And then, okay, hold on, let's take it one step further. It's amazing match with almost the same opponent a lot of the times. And they're able to create magic every time, which is so rare to do that with one other. Well, speak of the devil, look at that. That beautiful logo too, baby. I see that right there.
I absolutely.
That's what we're speaking about.
Tyra, I could put Tyra over all day. Tyra knows, I think, the world of her. Very good friend of mine too, and has been I know she's been for Urza and a lot of the girls in Colorado. We jokingly called her the gatekeeper of Colorado wrestling because so many girls have made their debut against Tyra.
100.
And I know she's been a great mentor to them. She's been an amazing mentor to me. It just I really appreciate she's always honest in her feedback. with me in anything that I do. If I need to bounce something off somebody, she's definitely one of my go-tos. She has like almost a decade of experience in the business, and so underrated in my opinion.
100%.
She, as much credit as she gets, I don't think she gets enough credit still. I think doing that kind of messed the focus up on my camera.
You're good. I mean, it's a little blurry, but you're beautiful enough that it overcomes.
No, trust me. My ass does not need to be in HD. All this needs all the blurring, all the softening that it can possibly get. But no, I can't say enough good things about Tyra, and her and Joey have done so much for me that I don't know if I could ever repay them, but I will definitely die trying.
Well, I mean, it goes without a doubt saying that you're a team player. You're someone that helps out in every aspect, be it in the ring, if we need someone to wrestle, setting up the ring, cleaning up after shows. You're setting an example for a lot of other people that need that example set for them. I'm not going to call anybody out, but there are a few that need to watch and learn, and be like, oh, okay, so I'm supposed to be helping out in this situation, right?
I am honestly, I get it. Like it's the whole paying the dues thing.
Yeah.
And I get some people have been doing this a hot minute and they don't want to do that anymore. And there's some people that have been doing this 5 minutes and they don't want to do it. But I'm never going to see myself as above that. We're putting on a show here. You're part of the show. You help build it up, help tear it down. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we all want to keep doing this, and you have to contribute to that. And the quicker we can get in and out of a venue, the more likely they are to bring us back. The nicer you are to the venue staff, the more likely they are to bring us back. And it's like I treat this like my second job. So it's
same.
Yeah. So I don't if Joey and Primos are going to put me out there, if Randy and CSW are going to put that out there, Chad and CWC, Conde and ORW, whoever it may be, I want to look as good out there as possible for them, for their brand, and I want to do everything that I can to help them continue to build and grow and keep putting on, this stuff that we all love doing.
Yeah. Setting that example is nice too, just being out there and knowing that no one's above it. Well, personally, I'm going to shout out real quick, Adrian Grimm. They've been in this for so freaking long. They've been doing it for so long, and I have never once seen them not help set up a ring when they're on a show.
Oh, absolutely not. And I think he still kind of like just snickers or sneers at me whenever I say it. But Adrian Grimm was my OG coach. The first wrestling class that I ever went to, Grimm was teaching. Grimm was the one that I specifically set out to train with, because originally all I wanted to do was learn how to bump. Because Hunter Gray very frequently has a tendency to terrorize me and other non-wrestler talent. And I was like, and Filter is another one. He told me and someone else backstage about, when he's like rampaging around, he's like, if I start coming after you and you don't know how to bump or you don't want to bump, don't let me catch you. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind is like, what if one day I turn around and you're there and you do catch me? So out there, I do need to know how to do this. And so I pulled Grimm aside because I knew he ran Friday Night Bump Club at the butcher shop. And I was like, hey, could I come in and just, learn how to like take moves in case the situation ever arises where I'm needed to do that. And, he took me in. I specifically sought him out and wanted to learn how to bump, wanted to learn how to join you on the commentary table, and have wanted to like pick up anything that I could, because my first seminar that I ever attended was Bryce Remsburg, referee for AEW. And his, like, the overarching theme of his seminar, which was specifically directed at like non-in-ring talent, so announcers, referees, commentators, etc., his main advice to us was the more you know how to do, the more difficult it is to get rid of you. So that's kind of been what I've tried to guide and go by, and hopefully to some degree of success. Most of the people that I've worked for have kept bringing me back. And
yeah, man, I mean, I see you pretty much everywhere I go, and I've thankfully become a nice little growth on the side of Colorado wrestling that they can't seem to get rid of. So it's nice to know that we're both finding our little ways in this path, because it is a wild one.
No, absolutely.
Definite interesting path, I'll tell you that. Be prepared to bring some Tupperware for seconds, because you never know what you might need. Dude, you might be taking home some leftovers, man. I'm just saying.
Oh boy. Man, like
not trying to fix he's trying to fix that.
The webcam is like driving me crazy right now because I'm probably blurry.
Good,
and I spent money on this thing too. It's like, what the hell, Logitech?
And here I am with a free one given to me from a fellow streamer in California. Shout out to Honeybee Gaming.
Oh,
he just sent it to me one day. Yeah, I never did streaming with a camera for a long time, and everyone was kind of like, you should do a camera, and I just never, I don't know, I didn't think highly of myself. Finally I did, and boy, people enjoyed it.
And it makes a difference to me when I'm watching streamers. Like, I don't want to see a blank screen, and I personally am not a fan of VTubers. So I want to see like the person who is streaming. It makes it more personable in my opinion. So
no, it totally does. I fully understand. Yeah.
But no, so between what Bryce had told me, and then I had a nice little full circle moment here with somebody, the Brian Kendrick. He comes to God, I'm so sorry.
BPW?
BPW, thank you. I've had a long day. Shout out to BPW for bringing me into sub for JB. I appreciate the heck out of you guys. But Brian Kendrick has been at a few of their shows, and I got to talk to him again. I actually originally met him back in 2012? So about 10 years ago. And he was working a show at Fort Polk, Louisiana, where I was a installation photographer, and I got assigned to that show. Like, hey, go take pictures of the wrestlers. I'm like, oh yes, I would absolutely love to. I've always wanted to do that, or just be near a wrestling ring. So I met him there, and as he was leaving, I asked him, I was like, hey, if I ever wanted to do this, what would you recommend, that I do? And he's like, work hard. Don't ever make excuses. But more importantly, he said, like, find a trainer whose work you admire and train under them. Really, in anything that I've ever endeavored in, that's always been the advice given to me. Find who you want to look like. Find who you want to sound like. That's who you want to train under. So when I'm looking around, Adrian Grimm, I was like, if there's one thing Adrian Grimm, he does just like everything well. But if there's one thing that Grimm is amazing at, it's bumping and taking punishment out there. And I remember that CWC show where like that fatal 4-way was just everybody ganging up on Grimm.
Just beating his poor immortal ass the whole time.
And he takes the beating and he gets right back up. But yeah, I
every time.
I absolutely love
don't understand it. He's made out of fucking steel, man. Like, he's what that submarine should have been made out of.
Oh God. He's he's also like as also a benefit of like training under him. He like imparted his secrets on us of how he manages like all that pain that you're in, because if you've never bumped before, like your first night of like bumping class, I woke up the next morning, I could not freaking move. But yeah, he told us like, I go to cryotherapy, Epsom salt is your friend, heat pads, etc. I'm like, all right, because if I'm going to keep doing this, I need to know how to manage this.
Yeah, he definitely has some superpowers about him, man. That just goes to show like what good training and really hard work and the effort,
Absolutely.
Especially like honing your craft, he's done a lot of that. You can tell. I mean, he can do pretty much, like you said, any format that you can throw at him. So yeah, they're a great worker. Where did you find your path into pro wrestling? You talked about talking to Brian Kendrick. You talked about how he motivated you. Was there any moments before that, like as a kid or as a teenager, where you're like, man, I really, really want to do this, and you were motivated, but for some reason you just stopped yourself? And then we'll get into like the actual you finding it, a little bit later.
Yeah, like I said, I grew up playing the THQ games, and just like you guys did, and you always vision yourself as like that wrestler, that performer on stage, in the ring, whatever you want to call it. So no, there was never a moment where I didn't have like a curiosity in the back of my mind that I wanted to do this. I don't think that I've ever thought like, hey, I want to do this for a living. That's still true to this day. I am 36 and I am not exactly GQ material, so I know that WWE is probably not looking at me, and I'm fine with that.
You're gorgeous. Stop.
My goal out here is just to like give back to the indies, give back to what's given me so much coming up. But no, there never was a moment that I didn't think that I wanted some kind of involvement with me, or some involvement with wrestling. And I joined the military whenever I was 18 years old, so I didn't really have that opportunity to pursue it. And then I got out, and it's like I need to go to college, and we ended up finding my way to my career path here. So I never really like took the time to like rigorously pursue that goal per se. And I think probably aside from that conversation that I had with Brian Kendrick, that was just kind of stored in the back of my mind for the longest. Probably the turning point was about like 2018 when I started going to shows at the Monster Factory in New Jersey. There, I met mentor of my good friend JV and longtime wrestler Mike Delight, aka Michelle. That was like kind of a like fanboy moment for me, because I had been following JV and I met in the Navy. So let me get that out there in the open.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
I've known JV for like 20 years, and a lot of people don't know that me and him go way the hell back. So, so I got to watch him come up in his wrestling journey and just kind of live vicariously through him. And then I'm freaking out like, holy crap, you're working with Kazarni, aka Simbodi. You're working with Gangrel, you're working with Chris Masters. Like, what is going on? You're like living the dream there, dude. And who just kept contact with him all that time. And then he introduced Mike Delight, was one of the people that I used to fanboy for when I saw him there. He's on a short list of people that I've gotten to meet. Like him, Damian Drake, just to name a few. But I linked up with Mike Delight out there, and I'd asked initially, I was like, met Danny Cage, was like, hey, I think I might be interested in pursuing this. And he's like, come on down. And just my job got so busy that I never, really put the focus where it needed to be. And that just, I don't know, it didn't feel like a realistic possibility at the time, to nobody's fault but my own.
This is still 2018, right?
Yeah, because I put myself in that mindset. And then from 2018 to 2022, I was a regular there in the front row of the Monster Factory, like every show. I think I missed like 3 of them over a 4-year period. And their announcer, Derek Lewis, I just finally like knuckled up enough courage to like go up to him at a meet and greet. And I'm like, hey, dude, like, I think I might want to do this. So like, do you have any pointers for me? Cool. And he gave me some stuff, that guides me to this day. And I can transition into your other question, about how exactly I got led to this. I'm talking with JV, the entire time that, I was with him for like physically at Denfos, for like the beginning part of 2006. And then we just saw each other sporadically through the years, but we always kept touch through social media. And I I don't know, like after I talked to Derek Lewis, I was talking to JV, like, yeah, you think like I could ever like realistically do this? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. Like you need to get your ass to the Monster Factory and like get to pursuing this. Cause I would like talking passionately about it. He's like, dude, you need to shut up and just like do it. So fast forward to September, I think it was, of 2021. The infamous JV versus Chad match. I got a message from JV saying like, hey, if you can make it out here, I'm, this company I'm ring announcing for, I'm actually in a match that night, so I can't ring announce. I could have you, no, actually, hold up. It might
have been 2020, right?
No, it was 2021. I take that back. Let's rewind that. I had a little like memory mashup there. I originally came out here in 2021 because I did the ring announcing for Jake Shannon's Shoot Pro Wrestling.
Okay.
Thing, amazing concept, very different. And Jake Shannon is he's done a lot for a lot of the people in Colorado wrestling, but Jake Shannon was the first one to take a chance on, this unknown from New Jersey came out here to Colorado to ring announce. So I did that show. And what it was is the person that Randy Rude had to on backup for, because JV and Chad were fighting that night, they backed out at last minute. And so at the show, he comes up to JV like, hey, my ring announcer backed out. Do you have anybody? JV's like, talk to Schylar. He pulls me over. It's like, hey, are you interested in working tomorrow night? And do we have like a language limit here or like?
No, you're saying, dude.
My answer to him was fuck yes. So it was Shoot Pro was different, but like to get into work an actual pro wrestling show that night. What was amazing. That was my first thing. And, sentimental
dream come true. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sentimental value. I got to announce JV to the ring on my first night. So that was huge. And worked that night with several people who are like recurring names in my career. Heidi Howitzer for one, freaking love her. Type 1 Warrior. There's a story there that I'll get to in a minute. Joan Jetson, that's another story, but just like these people that I continue to see. So I did that in 2021, flew back home and went to a Monster Factory show the next weekend. As I'm sitting there in the crowd, I'm like, I'm on the wrong damn side of the barrier. Like I can't keep doing this. Like I need back in there. So he's like, yeah, if I ever see an opportunity for you to come back out, go, I'll do it. There was a job opening that I saw in December that like my supervisor at the time, I wasn't even looking for it. And he's like, hey, do you think you might be interested in this program out in Colorado? And I was like, no, they would never pick me for that. He's like, put in for it and just see what the hell happens. And I put in for it. And 6 months later, I'm living in Colorado. And as soon as I get out here, JV's like, yes, I have another ring announcer. I got get on to something else. So I started out back with CSW. I came back at the Red Rock Rumble 2022. And from there, being associated with JV, I eventually I roped into Primos. Got roped into New Era for a little while. Several promotions, and now I'd say like since I started working out here, I've been consistently 3 or 4 promotions that I'm working for on the regular. At least 2 of them, their main guy. So that was kind of my path to things out here. And the thing with Joan and Type 1 Warrior, Joan thinks that she's the one that like debuted me and broke me in. I was like, I had been announcing for a couple months before you did, but like to have gotten that honor of being on that show, and I understood that she wanted representation, and I'm happy to provide that. And it was something so groundbreaking that like that was another reason I didn't get into pro wrestling for the longest, is because I'm not going to drop the guy's name, but that show that I told you that I was a photographer at, one of the wrestlers on his way to the ring. We were on Fort Polk, Louisiana. Don't Ask, Don't Tell had not been repealed at that time. He was cracking joke. He was dropping "Don't Ask, Don't Tell" references in his promos, and coyly calling the crowd, And as he was walking to the ring, I'm getting a picture of him in the entryway. He looked at me and he called me a slur. So that was my impression of wrestling. I was like, that's not something that I wanted to be around. And then I come out here and I see something like Jones' big queer launch. And half, I don't want to say half, a good portion of the roster in Colorado, period, identifies somewhere on the LGBTQ spectrum. So that was eye-opening to me, and for Joan to kind of welcome me into that world and tell me like, hey, if anybody ever gives you any kind of crap or pulls what that guy did to you in Louisiana, you tell me. And she's like, I might not be the one that does something about it, but I know people who will. So, to feel like that and just like whisked into this locker room and it's like, hey, we got your back no matter what. That was awesome. And I'll shut up after this one, but the Type 1 Warrior thing. Type 1 was on that show that I debuted on, and that was his first CSW show. So that was awesome to me to be able to be there.
Oh, you've grown alongside Type 1 then. So you've been there. You guys have grown together.
And he's one of my very dear friends in wrestling. So to see him, get that crowning achievement, especially so early in his career. Absolutely deserving of it. And I can't say enough good things about Type 1.
Yeah, they're a crazy talented individual first and foremost, but their rise is, man, that just goes to show what hard work does.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously having a dad like Marlon helps, so.
Oh boy, that has just been the promo bait for that has been so good. God, I love it.
So yeah, it's solid. We've had a lot of really good promos that stand out, especially a lot of Provider's work. He's really fun to watch in his promos.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man, we watching the likes of the Joan Jetson show, the big queer launch that we did. Amazing time being a part of both of them. Seeing some of my friends from Indianapolis, Miles and the crew, Shooters Don't Die, having all them out here was really nice. Dylan Cole and God, that was a very special moment for me too. So being able to actually do the live commentary and produce it on Fight TV for the second one was such an experience that I can never take this for granted now. Like, it's something that I'm always going like, man, I'm so blessed. I don't know if people, but I'm so blessed with the ability to create magic alongside my friends.
Yes.
That's such a special thing. Because what you were alluding to earlier, for a long time, wrestling wasn't everyone was friends. For a long time, wrestling there was groups, and within those groups, it's almost like little mini gangs. Well, I don't deal with those people, and I don't deal with those people, and it was just silly. It was just dumb. So it's nice to see us all come together, especially for a great cause, like what Joan's doing.
Yes,
all that money is going to like the Trevor Project, and there's so much there that we're doing that's forward thinking and not looking backwards. Like it's beautiful. And then again, being a father, having my son front row in all of these, every single one of these shows. He's there for everyone. And so he's growing to know that everyone has an equal opportunity. We're no different. We're all the same people, man. And we're trying to just make it together.
You're doing it right.
I had JV pull me aside after the first big queer launch. And I guess he had seen me. I don't even know exactly what I said to Jackson, but he saw me parenting my son, and he's like, man, what you did there was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I forget exactly what I did, but it was just telling him how, love is love, I think. And it doesn't matter who's loving. Everyone gets to love, something along those lines. It was fun. Yeah. And then Joan, you know, that freaking match between her and Urza was so ridiculous.
Yes.
One of, if not my favorite matches of all time. And this is all time, like on the spectrum of every wrestling company from childhood till now, that will go down in one of my top 5 forever.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that match, man?
No, that match was amazing. It was bittersweet for me because I did not, I didn't want. I told her, I was like, Joan, I was like, I really don't want you to go. You know, wrestling, you find out really quick. You know, you make family really quick. You don't make friends, you make family. I don't know anybody out here in Colorado that's not involved in wrestling. I don't have friends outside of wrestling in Colorado. And there's so many people that have had my back through so much shit. So it's like, I definitely have like my big brothers, my big sisters, and you know, in wrestling. And if you know me at all, I don't throw those words around lightly. I know like brother is like a thing in the wrestling locker rooms and whatnot. If you see me use that word back towards somebody, trust me, they've earned it, because I don't hand it out lightly. So yes, people like Joan, people like Pandemonium, Tyra, Joey, JV, a lot of people have gotten me through some major shit here, and Joan was definitely one of them. And I hated seeing her hang it up. I understand her reasoning, and I support whatever she needs to do to take care of herself. But
hell yeah.
There were a lot of people talking about that match and how there was a lot of storytelling and like a lot of emotional investment in that match, which is something that you don't see
ever on the indies. Ever.
On the indies. And so, that was amazing. And shout out just on that note to, the Colorado community, because I've seen wrestling in a lot of places, and there are a lot of places that a lot of people don't have gimmicks or don't have characters, and like your whole crux of your being. Bless you, because you're in a hell of a lot better shape than I'm ever going to be in my life. It's like, girl, look at me, I'm a jack dude in my underwear. Cheer for me. But no, we got a rocket scientist out here. We've got a flying lucha pig. We've got Mountain Devil, whatever the Hunter Gray classifies himself as. I don't want to get killed for misrepresenting him.
And then we got Marlin, the human cryptid. Like,
good God. Marlin is, I love Marlin to death, and Marlin is definitely on that list of people who I never want to piss that guy off.
Ever, but I don't think you can. They're one of the most just calmly devastating people you'll ever meet. Like, that's
good guy. That's like the most oxymoronic sentence I've ever heard of, but it makes all the sense in the world if you know Marlin.
If you know Marlin, it's like just the most calmly devastating individual. Like, there's
that bell rings, all bets are off, and that ring is probably going to get broken.
Yeah, I have a dream match, and I don't know if you've kept up at all with anything in Indianapolis or any of that wrestling out there, but there's a man out there by the name of Justin Kyle.
Yeah.
And their moniker is that motherfucker. They're like Marlon Bishop big.
Yeah.
Equal size human beings. And Justin Kyle is one of the few people I've ever seen. I'll say the most intense wrestler I've ever witnessed. I got to the privilege of watching Justin Kyle versus Rhino and commentating the match, and they both do a gore. Now, long story short, Justin Kyle was about to hit the gore, and he like grabbed the canvas by 2 handfuls and just lifted the whole thing off of everything. It just like the canvas just lift, and I've never seen that. I've never seen this, and he's like screaming in the rage, and it was like almost rage that I have seen it. It's the rage that you used to see in the old Ren and Stimpy cartoons where the guy's veins are coming out of their necks, and they're like, it's like, holy shit. So that versus Marlin would be, that's
if we're doing Marlin dream matches here, I'm going to give a shout out to one of my boys back at the Monster Factory. I would love to see Marlin take on the all hungry Bobby Buffet. If you have never seen Bobby Buffet, you owe he's a big dude, and he's like one of the most agile big dudes I have ever seen. Got charisma from here to the freaking sky. I think they would love him out in Colorado, out here in Colorado, and I think if him and Marlon would break that damn ring, but I'm
surprised him and Stackhouse didn't. You know what I'm saying?
That was a wild one. I'm surprised him and Stackhouse didn't. You want to talk about agile big men? Sam Stackhouse, good God. And
think his enziguri or his he does that Pele kick or no, there was an enziguri, but still, God dang, man, like
Jesus.
And that was what the match before the finals on Alpha, where we see Chris Carter do this twisting, flying 720 cutter.
I had only ever seen that in a WWE 2K game, and it's called a rainbow cutter in that. And the first time that I saw him do that, and I don't know, the first Alpha 9 that I saw, I literally pulled him aside. Dude, I didn't know the rainbow cutter was a real thing. He's like, yeah, Chris Carter's freaking amazing. But yeah, I love that we bring like the talent in from all over the country. And yeah, I'm going to keep hitting back to the Monster Factory because they're the ones that kind of lit the fire there. But I have been campaigning left and right, like get some of the Monster Factory dudes out here, especially in the Alpha 9. Goldie, if you don't know him, look him up. He's amazing. I think he'd be fantastic in the Alpha 9. Selfishly, I want to get my role model, Classy Max Sterling, out here. That one of my dreams in wrestling. I have two like really big things that I want to do that involve the Monster Factory. One, even if it was just one match, and I wouldn't want to step on my boy Derek Lewis's toes, but even if it was just one match, I would want to announce a match at the Monster Factory. And two, I wouldn't care when or where it was, just one match. I want to manage my role model, Classy Max Sterling.
That'd be fun. Let's do it. Let's get it going, man.
And
I mean, obviously you're a made man out here in Colorado. You work for a number of companies. Yes. I think we could probably pull that off, man. I think that's something.
I know.
You heard it here, all of you. Okay.
Plenty of them.
McDougal, Rude, Chad, Kalina.
It's just logistics are a little bit difficult right now, but yeah, shout out to Monster Factory. Check out their new show on Apple TV Plus today. It's very eye-opening as far as the pro wrestling world and what it's like to pursue this. I can't recommend it enough. Monster Factory, Apple TV Plus.
So you've trained here in Colorado. Have you done any training at the Monster Factory?
No, unfortunately.
Okay.
That's 100% my fault. I had very poor work-life balance when I lived in New Jersey. Not an excuse. I own that 100%.
No, I am in the same boat, so I feel you. Wrestling has opened doors that I didn't even want to open myself, It's like it makes you get out every weekend. It makes you get into uncomfortable situations that eventually just become super comfortable.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you have a similar story. You get into wrestling, you don't know half of anyone.
Absolutely.
You don't know that there's your one buddy that got you there. Unfortunately for me, I didn't even know the buddy that got me here because it was Aiden Blackheart. So they're in Indianapolis. I'm standing in a Primo's locker room going like, I don't know any of these people.
I had that exact same experience, and I tell people this all the time, and like nobody believes me because I do the ring announcing thing. And just fun fact about me, I've sang the national anthem in front of 15,000 people at Prudential Center in New Jersey. But I have like horrible social anxiety, and unless like you kind of take the initiative to break the ice with me, I can be hella socially awkward. So I am like totally reliant on those people that will like find somebody new in the locker room and just almost collect you and like we're friends now, or we're gonna be buddies, or we're gonna like work something out now. And that's actually like I'm shocked it's taken me the whole interview to mention him, but that's actually like to the T, Niles Blood. Niles is totally one of the ones that collected me, and like I'm completely out of character here, so I don't really care. It's 2023. This whole Niles 358 thing, it's like I credit it to the TikTok title. I saw like all the fun they're having, all the character work that they're doing. I was like, I want to like some kind of inroad to this. So I'm just going to pick a random one of those mofos, and I'm going to have some reason to start a feud with him. I was like, this Niles guy, he owes me $3.58 from a Starbucks run in 2015. And all of that was just like completely random numbers pulled from my head. Fun fact.
Yeah, you guys didn't even know each other in 2015.
Yes. Fun fact I will just throw out here exclusive for this the sweet spot. The number 358 actually comes from a musical called How to Succeed in Business Without Actually Trying, from a song called It's Been a Long Day. It's like a secretary trying to get another secretary to hook up with like the main character and go out to dinner. And one of the options she throws out is dinner for two at Stouffer's for $3.58. So that's where that reference comes from. Like literally nobody would ever get that. But yeah, I love Niles. He ran with that. I train with him a lot, and he's like one of my favorites to work with because him and Joan was good about it too. That if you're just standing in the ring before a show or standing around in the ring, you're training, they grab you and start doing stuff to you. And like all of a sudden, like, okay, you're in a match and you have to think on your feet. Like, okay, keep doing something to me. All right. And you keep going until like somebody like the match, ends. So he's helped me so much. But yeah, shout out to Niles.
Niles is good people. I saw them work alongside Earth Tone in that little segment Earth did after their music showcase.
Yes, that was great.
And I mean, they took care of him. They took care of Earth Tone, and I mean, genuinely a nice person too. Ever since me and Niles have connected, or they've been part of Primos and coming to the shows, they've always had a special place. They're always really nice. They're welcoming. When they see you, it's a hug. Yeah, I really enjoy them. They're good people.
He's I think hella underrated on the mic. There are a few people. Yeah. There are a few people that I would be afraid of in a promo battle, and Niles is one of them.
It's nice to see them in the position they're in CSW against Type 1 right now.
Absolutely, and I definitely hope to see him get a championship run of his own one day. Definitely deserves it, and definitely that kind of guy that you want in your locker room. That like no matter what you throw at him, he'll go out there and he'll make it look good. So shout out to him.
What are some things that you? Oh yeah, totally. Niles is he's someone that will definitely forever be respected. It's hard to earn that position too. You have to, and he'll have to lose himself if but I don't see him doing that. They're dedicated. They're such a good-hearted person. They care about everyone in the locker room. They're there to help. They don't cut corners. So
100%.
It's nice to watch someone, especially alongside, like you said, you've grown alongside all of these people really for a long time now, and
him, Type 1, Pandemonium.
Yes.
Jalen Lee or Vito Volino, Goody Floyd, just to name a few.
Yeah, those are really some solid individuals. And again, every single one of them has been super nice to me and warm and welcoming. I started at CSW a little bit after you. I mean, you'd been, well, not a little bit, you'd been there a long time before me. But what was your transition there? I mean, you've been in ring announcing for, I would say, 2 years now, right? Yeah. And then I'm unsure which show it was that you made your exact debut. I think it was the Red Rock Rumble. Okay, and you came out as Schylar Ashwood. You announced yourself, and then what was that? Where was that? Like, how did you even come about that booking, or even like the transition there? Because it's so comfortable to stay in our lane in production or in announcing or commentary.
Yeah.
What made you be like, dude, I want to do that too?
Jones show was actually my third battle royal I've been in. The second was at a Taco Fest, and the first was actually the Red Rock Rumble. I kind of broke out of just announcing because my first night there training. We're like teaching how to take bumps and stuff, but he was also like teaching like, here's how you lock up, here's how you do like an arm wringer, here's how you do a wrist lock, and here's how you do a hammer lock, and here's how you do a headlock. And I was like, oh, okay, and here's how you do a headlock takeover. And so it's like one thing built after another, and it just felt like, and it's a conversation I had with Fuji Brown. I was like, I've learned how to do this, and this. Like, how close am I to like putting on like a short match or something, or being able to like do like a squash match or something? And he's like, you're like very close. Like, keep going. He's like, you're already in there, so why not keep going? So kept going. Trained more with Grimm. Trained with I Am the Provider. Who is amazing about like I love his classes where like, here's this basic move like the rock bottom. This is, and here, start a full Nelson, now you can land in a rock bottom, or start with a Cobra clutch, now you can land in a rock bottom. Start with a so just like build on, and I was like, oh, I'm starting to like accumulate a little bit of an arsenal here. And I asked him just on a whim about the Red Rock Rumble, because I threw it at Randy. He was talking about like he was going to have the biggest one ever, and he's going to have all these people in. I was like, you think there's any chance I could get in there? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, I'm going to clear it with Provider, because then it's my trainer. And I asked him, he was like, yeah, absolutely. I think you've earned it, and I'm confident you keep yourself safe in there. So that's how that came about. And the Taco Fest thing, I literally that
had to have been an uplifting moment, right? Hearing your trainer tell you that, yeah, you got this, dude. I know you'll be able to be safe. That has to be a huge moment in training.
Yeah, and I'm so grateful for Joey. Joey's put so much faith in me in anything that I've wanted to do, and that's really been kind of what I've loved about training at the butcher shop. Is there aren't like, oh no, you can't do that, or it's like, okay, if you really can't do that, okay, try this instead. It's not like trying to shut you. They don't try to shut you down over there.
Yeah, they find your way.
Try to build you up and make sure that you're safe. They want to make sure you look good when you're out there. But they don't like put up those walls and those barriers. They like show you how to get over them or show you how to take them down. And that's like that kind of open door attitude towards it is really what I've loved about the butcher shop, and why I think it's a great place to train.
Oh, we welcome pretty much everyone down to the butcher shop. I mean,
absolutely.
Children train at the butcher shop. We have a kids class, and I'll tell you from the experience that I've had with it from my son, he's never come home hurt. He's always come home safe and excited and ready to go back. So
100%.
That's a testament just to the teachers we have there for that kids class, and Malibu Bobby, Urza, Joe McDougal, a lot of the the substitute teachers, if you will, that come in, like Lowrider and the likes of them. I know Viper will be at the butcher shop tonight.
Love Viper. Viper's one of my favorite people. But the coaches at the butcher shop are amazing. Just quick shout out, Canadian Pit Bulls, Eric Angel.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm going down my list in my head. ZZ helped train me once. So that moment with him with the battle royal was like super special to me. Big shout out to Duff Doyle. I am sorry, dude, I could not hang in your classes, but that guy trains harder than anybody, and his main students are like the Chase and Glory, Nikki Chase, Frenchie, the people that have like just really wowed everybody in their debut.
Yeah.
And Duff has super high standards, and if you're one of Duff's students, you're going to look absolutely freaking amazing out there when you go. So shout out to Duff for keeping the bar high. Adrian Grimm, of course, Lonnie Valdez, and of course, I Am the Provider.
Yeah, Lonnie recently coming back to being a coach and coming back in the ring, which we're going to be seeing here next weekend. We got Lonnie taking on Marlon, Valdez versus Bishop. That's going to be a huge matchup. What are your thoughts going into that one, man?
I actually hate that I cannot be there for that one. I'm going to be out of town. So I'm going to be watching live on Fight TV for only $9.99.
Twitch.
Okay, well, I'm going to be watching for free. There's no reason not to.
Exactly.
Lonnie Valdez held the Primo's heavyweight title more times than anybody versus one of the most dominant champions in history in Marlon Bishop. And it's going to be very interesting to see who comes out of that. Shout out to Lonnie too. I've been meaning to get up whenever I'm physically able again to get up to the butcher shop and get in some classes with him. He's amazing.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun matchup. And Lonnie getting back into training, being a coach, and obviously, doing a little bit of tune-up on their own craft, preparing for Bishop. That's gonna be such a fun matchup. What are your thoughts on Caleb Crush and Killian Crow? Do you think they're gonna make an appearance?
So Caleb Crush is like one of my favorite people. That guy is amazingly down to earth for how good he is at everything that he does.
Real quick, they took care of Frenchie at BPW, and that's just goes to show. So
yes, I saw that. That was I know that was a big thing for Frenchie because Frenchie, I guess, knew Caleb from like way back when, and finally have that
the original Frenchie.
Yeah, so I am partial to Caleb, but I'm also partial to Killian because Killian, I actually was the first person that I managed and as in pro wrestling.
That's unfortunate.
We had a show up in was not me. It was my evil twin brother Tyler.
Okay. See, better.
There was a sorry, sometimes our consciousness dreams get crossed there, but Tyler managed Killian and Kay in a tag team at Grand Junction, Colorado. 2 matches on one show, and Killian is something else, man. Killian's a good monster type, and I don't think he gets enough credit for that. So. I absolutely love that's going to be I'm kind of like on both sides of that one. I'm like, I don't want to choose. I like both of these guys. So
it's weird because we're such big fans of Marlon and Lonnie, and then backstage I love all 4 of them. Marlon, Lonnie, Caleb, and Crow. I've had the pleasure of spending a good amount of time with Crow on the way down to CSW shows. Just shooting the shit and getting to each other. And
I've been on road trips with him too, and that's been that's a hard part of like the whole keeping up the image. And I know there's some older people in the business that like, no, you need to keep it up 24/7. That's like it's 2023, man.
Hacksaw and Iron Sheik broke that shit back in the day, bro. That ain't on us no more.
I will again. I know I spent a good amount of time putting him over, but it is so hard to pretend I hate this mofo right here.
Well, let's admit it's not hard because once we turn it on and they turn it on and we go into that mode, it's so much fun.
Yes,
it becomes like this. It's a blast.
Yes, good friends are better enemies. So. Did you see Crow at the last Primo show where he went up to Jackson and goes like this to his face and the crowd's like, and Jackson's like does the whole thing, dude. Gets such heat. Just a second, because there's something that it keeps like popping up in my mind. Is like I need to get this out before this interview is over. Let me freaking put your son over. This boy is cutting promos better than half of the indies. Like absolutely. We had it's forever going to be like one of my favorite memories in wrestling. January show this year. Our ring broke on the second match of like a freaking 12 match card. And we're live. This is our first time live on Fight. So I'm sitting there trying to like kill time, which I am horrible at. That's like the big thing that I feel like I need to work on as a ring announcer is like improvising and killing time. And fortunately, the wrestlers start grabbing the mic and cutting promos on who they're going to fight later on or who they just fought. And at some point, that mic ended up in Jackson's hands. And he was like destroying the entire roster one by one, telling about how when he turns 18, he's going to come from Marlon Bishop. He's going to beat him for that title. He's going to beat this person. He's going to beat that person. And I tried to get him to say, tell Tyra you're going to beat her for the women's title too. He's a little firecracker, man. He's got some charisma to him.
He's got goals. And it's beautiful to see them, being pursued and then having so many good people behind him pushing him through those goals. He has not as ounce of being timid. He gets out there, and once it's his mic, and that becomes his ring, and that's I can only imagine.
That's how it's supposed to be. That's kind of like one of my pet peeves with promos, and like, okay, you're trying to sell me on this match and why I should watch it and why you're gonna win. And there's a lot that I've heard, like, I'm not convinced that you believe that you're gonna beat this guy's ass. And yes, put it like you're gonna like this. It would be an accomplishment to kick this person's ass, but I'm gonna kick this person's ass, and he's got that down pat. And my hat's off to you for encouraging him as a parent. Mine were always supportive of me for and whatever I wanted to do, but they kept me realistic. But I had a lot of people, a lot of close friends, a lot of mentors, a lot of particularly exes that told me like, yeah, that's stupid. That's a waste of time to pursue anything entertainment related. And I've done a lot. I still do a lot of stuff that's entertainment related. I've been an actor. I've been a musician. I'm a pro wrestling.
You're famous, dude. You're on freaking Netflix
for like 2 seconds in a crowd when I'm like about trying not to lose my shit because the notorious Mimi is leaving us all and going to WWE to become Sloane Jacobs. Which shout out to her, Mimi. I freaking love you and TJ, and I wish you guys the absolute best. And I hope to see both of you guys on TV very, very soon, if that's what you want. If not, the indies will continue to eat you guys up because they're incredible. But I digress. No, it's and that like not having that encouragement. I've seen that. Breed like stage fright and like hesitance to get on camera or get on stage and pick up a mic. I see that every day. I mentioned I do that. It's kind of part of something that I do for a living is like coach people to get ready for interviews or to get ready to give speeches or worse, to get ready to go in front of a press conference after an incident. That's a lot of fun. But it's really rewarding for me, whether I'm involved in the process or not, to see somebody like build that confidence and, get out there and realize, okay, I have this mic in my hand and everybody you're like fearing like, oh God, I'm on a stage. I have a mic in my hand. Everybody's judging me like, no, motherfucker, you have a mic in your hand. You're in control. Own the damn stage, own the show. You are running this thing. You're driving this ship here. So that's what I really love to see out of people when overcoming that.
Yeah, we with Jackson, we've never held him back in anything he wants to do. It doesn't matter what he wants to do. It's like, okay, well, if that's what you want to do, we're going to pursue it, and thankfully I was lucky enough to find a place here in Colorado wrestling. And then just on a whim, I'd asked Joe McDougal one day, I was like, hey, do you guys do a kids class? Jackson he's interested. And they weren't doing a kids class at the time. They had in the past. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But, I just asked, and next thing you know, kids classes started, and Jackson's a big part of it. Real quick to something that you had brought up was Jackson's promos. One of my favorite moments, actually. Not necessarily Jackson's promo, but he called out Marlon Bishop at Alpha 9.
Yes.
And the reaction you had, I will never forget, because Jackson, he gets the mic and he's in the ring and he goes, guys, there's someone in the back and I just want to call him out. Marlon Bishop, could you please come out here? Dude, I'm about to start crying.
Oh my God.
Anyway, he calls out Marlon. Marlon came out in his towel. But before Marlon came out, as if like in the most cartoonesque, like whoop, 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 and your feet are slipping underneath you, and you're going like, oh, and you're hitting out. You come in here like, look at him going, what? And just your facials and your expression, because it was real. You were like, this kid just called out Marlon. And it was, I'll never forget that. I'll never be thankful enough to everyone that's embraced my son within that promotion, within wrestling, honestly, because he has a new family. I don't have a dad. Me and my mom don't really talk.
Yeah.
He doesn't have much blood family outside of me and his mom.
Yeah.
So having the likes of you, JV, Joe McDougal, Marlon Bishop, Crow, James, the list is endless. And I'm sorry if I missed names. Tyra Urza, I can continue this list forever.
Absolutely.
But having that family for him has been an amazing moment for our family. He feels safe in that environment. He basically just runs the show. He's helping out with ring if you guys need him. It's awesome to be able to share that with you guys, especially like I said, we're a big family.
No, I'm happy that he has this, and again, like I like love that he's so freaking fearless out there, and that's
completely
like to see that in somebody so young, especially like the environment that I grew up in that was kind of like suppressed for the longest, and it's like, no, that's not good. And like to see somebody like learn what I had to learn in my like mid-20s, somebody already knows. Like, how old is he? 10?
He's 11.
Oh, little man's leveled up since the last time I talked to him. Yeah, to see somebody like get that at like such a young age, and like, okay, like that's all I want to see out of somebody. Like, you have so many more years than what I did to enjoy that and to hone it and to craft it. And whenever he finally does get out there, and I think he will, he's going to be like even more amazing than he already is. Like I said, it took me long. Oh, are you all right there? I heard like a big.
No, I accidentally elbowed my mic.
I thought you like cracked your shoulder or something. No, I had to. That was something I had to work at a long time. It was like probably my epiphany moment. I'd been doing stage stuff for a while, but I was 30 at the time that I knew this guy. Had a coworker that had cerebral palsy, and he didn't have full control of this arm, and like he walked with like a really bad limp. We went out with him in Orlando. I forget the name of the place, but it was like one of those live like karaoke things, like your karaoke with a band. And I got up there and I did a song, and my coworker's like, "Holy shit! Like, where did that come from? Where you been hiding that?" And then my coworker, whose name happens to be Tyler, no coincidence there, but he gets up. He walks into this bar, and like him, with the cerebral palsy and all that, he's just like hitting on these girls left and right, and like actually getting like them to talk to him, and for a very long period of time. That he gets on stage and does this whole number, and he was not the most on tune vocalist, but like everybody was behind him and whatnot, and So one of my coworkers, who coincidentally is like this California pretty boy that's entering his 40s, and his looks are all that he ever had, and he's kind of losing that. He's like, "Tyler, like, how did you get like the courage to do this?" He's like, you look at me from afar, and you've drawn every conclusion about me that you possibly can. So what do I have to lose? And that's kind of been my mentality anytime I've got on stage now, is like, I'm up here, somebody in this bar, somebody in this venue, somebody in this arena, or this crowd has drawn every conclusion about me that I am afraid of you drawing. So what the hell do I have to lose? I'm just going to.
That's super.
Sorry for the philosophical.
That's words to live by, bro. No, you're good. That's like, that's something that I think everyone can benefit from.
Yeah.
Anyone, especially a lot of us, because it's something that I've noticed within professional wrestling. Not everyone is the guy that's approaching people and just, "Hey man, how's it going? Hugs." And like that guy.
I'm damn sure not. I beeline for the people that I know, and especially the big names. I was scared to talk to Effie. I was damn sure scared to talk to Juventud Guerrera, because I idolized that guy since I was 12 years old.
PJ Black. We didn't have to be scared. Black. He came to us. He came to us, baby. When he hit that desk, wham, and I watched my laptop lift off the desk and the mic moved, and I was like, "Oh no."
Freaking love you, PJ. You're awesome.
Oh yeah. My favorite Nexus member. Well, and I said this on my last interview. Him and Wade. I was a big Wade Barrett fan too, though.
Yes. But yeah, I'm scared to like go talk to people that I don't know, big name or not. I was scared to approach Damien Damian Drake whenever I first saw him, because like I've seen this guy online. He's freaking amazing. He knows one of my buddies.
Amazing.
And they've all, shout out to him, shout out to Sin Bodie. Freaking amazing, incredibly approachable, incredibly down to earth. You want to talk down to earth, Chris Masters. It was fun finding out that he hated Applebee's.
Really? What's his beef with Applebee's? Spill those beans. Hold on, because I don't have. I might, but not anytime soon.
But after one of the shows, we went out to eat, and he only agreed to go to Applebee's because the Lakers game was on or something like that. But yeah, just to know, if you ever put Chris Masters, do not take him to Applebee's.
Make sure that's the only restaurant open as a rib. Got you.
God, there's so many towns you can go to that is the only restaurant open by the time that we get out of the venue.
I'm telling you.
That and In-N-Out. I've become very lenient on In-N-Out, but
that is my go-to after Colorado Springs wrestling. If I don't have a double and a strawberry shake or a chocolate shake, I'm a grumpy little kid the whole way home. Sorry.
It is hella out of the way for me, but no, it's that's become JV, Tyra, and Joey have got me hooked on that.
The prices are like unbeatable, man. I swear,
absolutely. Like especially in this freaking economy. I was just griping about that the other day. I can't go out to eat anymore and not spend $20. Yeah. I remember I could get lunch for $10. Not anymore. And then there's some places I'm pissed off at. I'm not going to bury somebody on here. There's a taco place out in New Jersey that I used to frequent. That
bury him. I'll get the shovel. Who we burying?
Taco place out in New Jersey that I used to go to. Really good tacos. A little dry side on the meat, but the tortillas are handmade, so they're amazing. But I used to be able to get lunch from there, like 4 tacos for $10. 4 tacos are going for $16 now.
Dude, it's ridiculous.
I think I legally have enough Hispanic in me to say that that's ridiculous. 4 tacos should not cost $15. 16. But and they're cash only, so there's that. But yeah, man, In-N-Out. That's the freaking spot.
That's the go-to. I mean, I know that they'd brought up Chiba Hut last time, and we were on a time crunch. We needed, because I had God, what was it? I think I was doing something the next day. Yeah. There was something I was doing the next day. I forget what it was. But it might have been the Millennium concert with my wife.
Oh, shit.
I don't know. I don't remember. But we had to get back, and you guys are going to Chiba Hut, and I was like, yo, I can't go there. But in the back of my head, I was like, I'm not paying $20 for a sandwich. I don't want to do that. So
I was hungry, and it was what it was. So I was like, yeah.
Was it good at least? Are they good? I've never had it.
It was good. So good. It was that blue Kool-Aid that I spit in my grandma's face back in '92.
That's gosh, see that story you were telling that, and I'm sitting here like thinking like, okay, because you're like, oh, and the blue Kool-Aid, and I was like, oh, he must have like misted the couch or his grandma's cat.
No,
not your grandma, man. Like that's elderly abuse, bruh.
I was my mom had me young, so she wasn't that old. She was like maybe in her 40s or 50s, so she wasn't like that old. I mean, she's no longer with us now. God rest her soul. But good Lord, I was trying to give you the trailer moment there, like from the get go. But I great Kabuki missed it. My grandma right there in the face. Again,
that's a scene in a movie. Like if they did a Ready to Rumble 2 and that's not part of that movie, that's like they're not doing it right. That's you don't get. That's such a unique missing your grandmother.
It definitely was a Ready to Rumble scene because I got the smack 100. Laid down on me. I don't really remember the details too much. I just remember it hurt really bad. I don't remember if it was a belt or a chocolate involved, but that was a thing. And I'm still big on the Mist today. If you noticed, I don't think you were there for the Red Rock Rumble, but no, you were.
I was running the sound, so I wasn't really able to watch.
But that was my when I did my entrance, I did the thing, And what irritates me so
you did.
much,
Yeah, I remember because you did.
What so irritates me so much is everybody sees that in the entrance, like, oh, you're just doing the Triple H thing. No, I'm not. That was not a callback to Triple H. That was a callback to Juventud Guerrera. He was the first person I ever saw do that, and he had the hair. I can't do it, but he would come out and be like, dude,
yeah, the head bang, and then
I
loved it.
He was doing that long before Triple H, so that was my
that's super facts,
little shout out to Hoovy there.
You're out here dude. You're killing Triple H's whole career.
Not killing.
He'll never be able to wrestle again. Oh wait, he can't.
Triple H is goated as hell. I love Triple H.
Oh yeah, I love him. Yeah, one of the best in the business.
Influenced their career, then you lying. He's definitely.
He was someone that was easy to watch from a standpoint of I hate this person.
Yes.
And then as you grew up and you understand what wrestling's about, you go, holy shit, he was working me the whole fucking time. He didn't do a damn drug. He didn't drink. He didn't, he just.
Nope.
And he just wrestled good and made you feel. He's one of those people that invoked emotion out of me, for sure.
He's one of those that, like, I think it was like I love Joey posts these little nuggets of wisdom in the Butcher Shop group, but he posted like a picture of gorgeous George, and it's like, hey, who knows who this is? And like unanimous consent was like, if you're gonna be a bad guy in professional wrestling, you need to know who the hell Gorgeous George is. He's on that list. He practically invented the freaking modern art. I'd
give him the credit for actually.
Watch Harley race, watch Triple H, watch something more than that. I'd say, like, I had a little moment with somebody who was like doing a trial class at the Butcher Shop that like really had me like, can some of the, like, please, by all means, watch what you like, but if you're going to try to get into it, watch something more than WWE from like 2010 and beyond. I think it was Duff. Yeah, Duff Doyle was asking us all who our favorite wrestlers is, just to see who, if anybody would say CM Punk or like any of the other stereotypical answers. And nobody dropped Punk, but there were like a Cena and like etc. But he came around to me, and I think that some people think that I was trying to like flex or something by saying this, but I legitimately love the dude. He's like, who's your favorite wrestler? Without hesitation, Zack Sabre Jr. If there's anybody that I could learn like their style in the ring, I'd freaking love to like be able to wrestle like Zack Sabre Jr. He's also an amazing bad guy. Can cut a hell of a promo. But one of the kids, whenever I said that, they're like, who? I'm like, ow, ow, ow.
Yeah, like, that's me and Jack Moody were talking about Zack Sabre Jr. And Jack Moody talks about how he really likes technical wrestling. So it's just coming full circle here, seeing what you're into, man. Because if you bringing up Jack and wanting that being like a dream match of yours and being able to get in the ring with him is basically in that same realm, because that's what they do so well,
I'd love to like get a training session in with that guy. I haven't ever trained with him. There's a lot of people here in Colorado that I've been blessed to be in the gym with, that I've learned a lot from. And I'm not saying that I look amazing in the ring, because I've seen myself back and I don't. But it's like, okay, I see what I need to work on.
You can't be too hard on yourself, man, because what you're able to do out there is better than what I'm able to do out there.
It's not really being hard on myself. It's just like anything that I've done. Like, okay, I see what I did out there. It's like, okay, who can I find that can help me make that better? Plus, Danny Cage knows me from the Monster Factory, and knowing that, I never trained there. It's like, oh, you started training when you're in Colorado. And I know that I'm going to get judgment from hell from him and several of my friends back there if I get in the ring and I look like hot garbage. So I definitely want to avoid that. But yeah, so many people I've been able to, be in the gym with and learn just different stuff from.
Well, we're going to get Jack Moody on that list for sure. That's going to be one that we're going to get you some training with him. And then again, because it's something that we can make happen. That's something, if that's what your goal is. Okay, next time Jack's out here. Yeah. You don't get to tell me how to live this life. All right, this is my life, and I do it the way I want.
You're already fantasy booking me. Yeah, like I said, I've got some like physical things going on. So let me see what comes of that, and if I'm able to get back in the ring, then Jack, if you would ever do me that honor of like gracing me with your presence in the ring, I would totally love that.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, it's was just to have been, especially the few times that I've been out there, like in the ring, the people I've been out there with, I've never had a path crossing with him, and after the chops I've seen him deliver, I don't think I want to. But Big Guns has always been in the ring anytime that I've been out there. Big Guns is a fellow vet. Big Guns has seen like an immense amount of combat that I never did in my military career, and that's a tough son of a gun right there. So shout out to Big Guns. It's just him being there. I know, like, okay, this guy's got control of the situation, and if I cross paths with him, I'm gonna be all right. Niles took good
unless
care
he decides to expose the chest, then you're not gonna be all right.
No, I'm good. Yeah, Niles took real good
just
care
by
of me.
saying that, you know that you're going to get it now, right? Like by saying, "Oh, Big Guns, please don't chop me." He's gonna be like,
I really don't. No,
watch
I really
this,
don't
kid.
want that. Don't.
Well, you shouldn't have said it. You should have been like, you know, the thing I'm looking forward to most is a good old Big Guns chop. Because the moment he chops me, then he won't want to. He'll be like, oh, I'm not chopping him.
The next time I'm on commentary with Rocco, that's it. Yeah, shout out to Effie for playing ball. That situation there, I think I've told this story before, that I get in there, like I said, I've got like a limited set of things that I can do. I had already, like, I talked with that battle royal was a lot of fun because I didn't have time to talk to anybody. Like everything that we did out there was no like big collaboration. Like, okay, few people will like, yeah, we want to do this, and this. I didn't get to do any of that, so I got to get in there, and I get in the ring. Everybody's like all happy, like, oh, look, the announcer's wrestling. Yeah, go Schylar. And so like, I'm good guy. I'm looking around the rings like, who can I go after? And there's only one bad guy in the ring, and that's there were two. There was ZZ, he was on the ground under the ropes. Hunter was on the ground under the ropes, and there's no way in hell I'm going after Hunter. That makes no sense. And Risa was the other bad guy, and she was behind Effie. So I can't get to her. So I look, there's Panda over here. I'm going to get booed if I go after Panda. Big Guns over here. I'm going to get booed, and I'm going to get my ass beat if I go after Big Guns. And then Effie is just looking right at me. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm going for the big dog. And and then I got a few shots in on him, and then Risa and Panda started beating the crap out of me, and that's about all I remember from that.
Yeah, I think didn't you grabbed Big Gun's jacket, right?
Big Guns had me put his blazer on after I went back out to announce. And I was like, yeah, I feel like I'm a man because I'm in Big Guns' blazer. It's kind of like I could almost compare it to like, okay, if you see dad mowing the lawn and you're like a little kid and he like puts you in his lap while he's mowing, like, yeah, I'm mowing the lawn. It's like, yeah, I'm wearing Big Guns blazer. I will tell you, I instantly regretted that because that building was hot as hell, and that was like a really blazer that he had on. It was like far like thicker than mine. And I told him, I was like, I don't know how you're not dying right now. He's like, why do you think I don't have it on? So
yeah, he sat down at commentary for Dad's set, and we're sitting there for a little while, and he's wearing the blazer, and then just at some point it came off. I was like, makes sense, buddy. Because Dad was up there sweating their butt off. What'd you think of Dad's set for Jones' show?
Oh, I love Dad. I love Dad's Rumble spot.
Yes, wasn't that fun?
Dad is an incredible. Like Dad is a national treasure that this filthy planet is not worth.
Yes,
or worthy of. Sorry.
We had a lot of fun with Dad out here, man. And then, like you said, them getting in that matchup, and they just came off that boxing match, so they had really nice looking body shots that they were throwing. They were real clean, but you could tell they weren't hurting Effie. But God, did they look good? They were snug, but they weren't hard. It was beautiful wrestling out of Dad. I was very, very happy with that.
Yeah, he was great. That whole night was great. I was like, that's something that I'm never gonna forget, and I really hope that we get a big Queer Launch 3.
We're going to. That's happening. That will happen.
Even if it's a Rocco's big Queer Launch.
The arm. Oh, dude, it's gonna be a thing. Like Rocco's big queer launch. I'm an ally. I'm all for you. Yeah.
Let's make sure Joe's not going to come back first, because Joan will lay a beating on us for even talking such blasphemy.
I ain't trying to take that leg drop, man. I'm good, bro. I'm good. No, so before we get out of here, man, I want to talk a little bit about your musical side of things, and where did you start pursuing music like that? Because you got a guitar back there, you got a piano. I know you got a beautiful voice. I've heard it in person. So where did that pursuit start?
Just like everybody pictures themselves as that wrestler in the ring, everybody out there pictures themselves as that rock star on stage, jamming out with a guitar, singing all that jazz. I had wanted to do that forever, and just because of environmental things. Not my parents. Let me put that out there. I love my parents and I have a great relationship with them. It is absolutely not them. They've been nothing but supportive of me. And if I say elsewise, I'm going to get my ass beat, because I'm going to see them this weekend. But I digress. There were just like some environmental things from like school and like local community that it just wasn't like, unless you were like in an emo band or a country band, that it wasn't something that you did. So I didn't do that for the longest, because I can't really do the emo thing well. I can't do the screamo stuff. I can do country. I just don't want to. And plus, my grandfather on my mom's side and my mom both played the piano. So I always kind of in the back of my mind wanted to play piano. And there was very much a sentiment of boys don't play piano, because that's a girly thing. And so it's rural Louisiana that I grew up in. So I suppressed that for
I understand.
I didn't.
But I don't understand. Sorry, because like some of the greatest piano players to ever come out of the South, and are men. That's just ridiculous. That's just ridiculous.
But like for the kind of music that I'm kind of like a pop folk kind of guy, so that was my vibe, and that was not like an acceptable thing back then. So like I said, I kind of kept that under wraps for the longest. I actually didn't sing in front of anybody for the longest either, because I did once, and somebody told me that I was dog shit. And I was like, okay, whatever.
That's the worst.
That's also the thing, is like when you have like those rock star dreams, you don't want to be told that you're like a garbage singer. So I was scared to sing in front of people for the longest. And the breaking point for me came with alcohol and Okinawa, Japan. Karaoke bars are a big thing.
That was my last question, but you're getting into it.
Let me finish this one.
All right. Okay.
It's really not as big of a story as I think. It's just like I'll explain it in a minute. But Okinawa, Japan, alcohol and a karaoke bar got involved, and I got on the mic and I sang "Hemorrhage" by Fuel, and my friend just looks at me. He's like, "Holy, you've never done that before?" I'm like, "No, that's my first time singing." They're like, "Oh, you're really good." And as they do, whether you're good or not, the Japanese people are like, "Oh, you got a really nice voice. You got a really nice voice." So when we got back to Sasebo, where I was stationed, that was kind of my gimmick. And when we went out to the bar, it's like, "Oh, Schylar can actually sing."
Hell yeah!
So I was like Mr. Karaoke for a long time. Went so far as to learn like a couple of like popular Japanese songs. So like you would see this Gaijin busting out singing Banzai or Hanamizuki. They're like, what the hell? So that got started in that. And then I got out of the military, went back home, and I was like, I'm going to pursue this piano thing, and asked one of my friends, like, hey, do you know any piano teachers? And they pointed me to a man named Glenn Rainey, who taught me my way around the piano. I'm still not the greatest at it, but just enough to where I could play what I want to sing. That was my goal, because I was tired of trying to find a guitarist that wanted to play what I wanted to sing. Well, now I can play whatever the hell I want to sing. So, shout out to Glenn. Thank you so much for that. Thank you to Glenn for helping me write my first song. And I just kept that up through college. and have started singing the national anthem when I started working for the government again. And that, as I mentioned, led to me getting a kind of opportunity falling in my lap to sing the anthem at an NHL game. The Jersey Devils versus the Detroit Red Wings back in 2019.
Let's go! Let's go! Red Wings in the house, baby.
And the Red Wings
Let's go!
Out of them that night. So, shout out.
Hey, it doesn't matter. We're a terrible team now, but we were good once.
But they gave me that opportunity to sing in front of 15,000 people in the Prudential Center, biggest crowd I've ever performed in front of. And after I did that kind of, again, it's like one of those realizations I came into in my 30s that I wish I could have known in my 20s. After I did that, I was like, there is no crowd that I am ever going to be in front of in my life ever the hell again that I should be afraid of if I just did that. So that's I don't really I can't really mess with bands because like musicians are kind of on the fickle side and I don't really have a lot of time on my hands. So yeah, that thing back there, I just hop on that to just like chill out, play whatever the hell I want. Something comes out on the radio. It's like, I wonder if I can pull that off and just pluck that out, piss off my neighbors and call it a day. So
speaking of shitty neighbors, you got rid of the crappy neighbor yet, or are you good to go?
Yes. So I am happy
to report
that the ones over there that had the dog that would not shut up, that they were neglecting, that had a separation anxiety, are gone. The freaking QAnon lady upstairs is gone. The one with the cameras outside on her balcony, screw her. Trying to make that fire that happened over here all about her. Yeah, I'm not going to shoot the finger up there because she's not up there anymore. So
no birds needed.
She's gone. He's gone. Just like, yes. And now I've got like a couple others that are problematic. So it's a story of living in an apartment. One day I'll be able to afford a house, and a story of our generation.
Yeah, luckily enough, we have a beautiful soul within this wrestling community like Debbie Havens that can help you with something
Havens.
like that. So
if you need to get into a house, go talk to Debbie Havens if you're in Colorado Springs, and go talk to Cody Devine if you're in Denver.
Debbie Havens if you're in Colorado. It don't matter if you're in the Springs, baby. Just hit up the Debbie Havens.
Cody Devine's one of my favorite wrestlers too, so I've got to give a shout out to Cody Devine and his real estate.
I was real self-conscious of myself when I first started out. I'd always done, and we've talked about this a little bit, I'm sure, but I started out doing over-ear commentary, right?
Yeah.
Where with Primos for a long time, before we moved to the platform we're on now, it was over the loudspeakers, and I'm commentating to the live crowd, and I'm almost having to be funny on top of this. It's a different concept, but I was always so self-conscious of myself and just hated it. Until one day when after a show, I'm sitting there, I must have looked shitty. Like I must have been looking at the ground or something. But Cody came up to me. He's like, dude, you're awesome on commentary.
And you are.
It's still weird to hear.
It's like, if I am worth a damn on commentary, it's because I've been alongside you or JV. I would put that out there. You're super easy to follow. And it's like you take well to whatever I'm pointing out, and it's really easy to tag along to like what you're pointing out. And it's, I think it makes for a good opportunity, and I appreciate it because it's given me like an avenue with IWC, because I tried ring announcing there once. Mi español no es suficiente, es muy mal. And so I was looking for a way to work with them again. And, here I am on English commentary with you, and getting to see, they're the ones that bring in some of the bigger names. And it was an absolute dream to be able to commentate one of Huvitude's matches, one of PJ's matches. Yes. I still have goals. Like I said, with ring announcing, commentating, managing, want to announce just one match at the Monster Factory, want to manage my role model Max Sterling just one time. Oh, yeah. As far as commentary or announcing goes, there's two people that I really, 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 really want to work with. Actually, I'm going to make three. I'm going to make that three. Chandler Hopkins, Flip Gordon, and a guy in the Northeast. by the name of Landon Hale.
Hell yeah.
All incredible freaking athletes, but yeah, it's kind of like everybody, the wrestlers have like their dream of like, I want to wrestle this person. It's like, I just want to announce you or want to be on commentary for one of your matches because they're freaking amazing. So yeah, shout out to Flip, shout out to Chandler Hopkins, and shout out to Landon Hale. You guys are all freaking amazing.
I'd like to shout you out, dude, because you brought a light to the Colorado professional wrestling scene.
Some people would say that's questionable.
I don't know about that. I don't know any that would say that. I mean, as far as I know, and what anything I can go off of what I've seen with my own eyes, and you're a good soul, you're a good person, you take care of those around you, and you're willing to bust your butt to create a show, even if we're backed up or something goes wrong, you're willing to fill that time. If I need 5 minutes, like, hey, we need 5. Can you fill 5? You can do that. You know how to shout out sponsors. It's beautiful to work alongside you, man. You've been a pleasure to have us in the Colorado
work scene, alongside you too. And before we get out of here, I can't tease it on social media and not say the Okinawa story. So that's actually like nothing as much to it as it sounds like. That's just kind of like my like gimmick card that I keep in like my back pocket of like, oh no, I don't want you to know about the Okinawa story. To summarize the Okinawa story, I got really, really drunk and really, really brave in Okinawa, Japan at a bar where there's a stripper pole, and I pole danced while singing the Paramore song from the Twilight soundtrack.
Is that where we got Alex Bliss? Was that their debut?
That wasn't the Alex Bliss debut, but I think Alex Bliss was born.
Alex Bliss was inside you too that night.
Yes, and if you thought Alex Bliss was something, do not miss Primo's Carnival this year because you're gonna love what I do.
Can you let me do my job? Can you let me? Okay, because I'm like setting shit up, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna hit that one, bonk. And it's out the park, and I'm like, this mother. Because that's the next thing. It's like, yo, so when are we seeing Alex Bliss? Carnival? That's exactly what I was going to say.
No, you're not going to see Alex Bliss again. You're going to see something better than Alex Bliss.
I want to see Alex Bliss in the ring defending that WWE championship.
That women's championship that I was carrying
around? Yes, you versus Tyra. Let's go. Softcore match. Why not?
Tyra would kick the crap out of me, but if I ever had a chance to be in the ring with Tyra, I would not. I would not decline that.
We could have another Durian death match, dude.
You ain't ever gonna catch me in a death match. That's not really my thing. If you want to hit me with a light tube, that's another wrestling goal of mine. But
I definitely want to. That's kind of a goal of mine is hitting.
I wanted Niall to do it, but like we haven't really found the opportunity, and they stopped making light tubes. So that's
you could be distracted this year at Slave, and I could get your attention by hitting you with the light tube. Like, dude, we gotta go, wham, and then everyone would be like, oh, and it'd be like, kayfabe, brother. Don't tell anybody that we're planning that, though, okay?
If I'm, I feel like if I'm going to be involved in Slave this year, I'd rather be up there at the commentary booth with you because that was crazy last year, and I think that crowd is better suited to somebody else, not a little bit cooler than me. But
no, bring your butt, dude. I love having you on commentary with me. I mean, you have fun.
Yeah. But no, that was the Okinawa story. Pole danced in a bar when I was really, really drunk and sang Decode by Paramore. I'm told it was hilarious, but I've gone to great lengths to make sure that there's no video footage remaining.
Damn, I was going to say, man, share the footage, all right?
You've seen me come out
OnlyFans with content like that.
You saw me come out to the ring and practically drag. That's got to be better. And the running
gag was drag. What are you talking about? That was drag. Practically, that was drag.
The running gag backstage when I put that wig on, Joey looked at me and said, "Oh, you're doing a nice Adrian Grimm." I gave that wig to Tyra, and I think she still has it. But if it does, I need to one day to like do an Adrian Grimm, or do like Adrian Grimm's like nephew or something. I don't know.
Alex Grimm.
Oh God, Alex Grimm.
Yep. Alex Grimm. We already have it.
It'd
would be
perfect.
Funny, and get you the hooks, but not hooks. We'd have to figure something out there because they can't be the hooks. They have to be something a little more playful. Anyway, we'll get to that. We have plenty of time, dude.
Oh man, if I ever
barely touched. Huh?
If I ever did an entrance with him, I'd have an excuse to spit the blue stuff because he spits like red stuff. I can spit blue stuff. Come on, Adrian, let's do this.
Yeah, boy, that would actually work really well. You'd be like that alien from the Fifth Element that had the stone inside him.
Yes,
that would work. I'd like that. But we've barely even scratched any surface here, dude. We've talked for almost 2 hours, and I swear there's so much more to cover. Like, we could just keep doing this, and that's awesome.
Well, if anybody has not gotten their fill of hearing us talk, you can hear us talk anytime. Usually on Primo's Premier Pro Wrestling, live on Fight TV. With IWC, I do commentary with you there.
Yep.
Yeah, which I believe is also on Fight TV occasionally. So yeah,
occasionally, yeah.
You don't find my voice to be like nails on a chalkboard. I also work with CSW and CWC, where I ring announce there. And
do you got any announcing bookings coming up, or any shows that you want to plug before we get out of here?
I do indeed. So I'm not going to be there, but crap, my calendar is still on June, and I am done with bookings for June. Thank God. I needed a little bit of a break. If you follow me on Instagram at Sky High Guy, you can see, like you see, I was back in New York for a little bit, which I absolutely love. My soul lives in New York City, somewhere down in the Lower East Side. But I digress. Primo's Premier Pro Wrestling is going to be live Sunday, July 2nd, Bishop versus Valdez. We've been talking about that all day. On Saturday, the 8th, I am working a show at Elitch Gardens, which I am not familiar with, but that's going to be new ground for Primos.
I believe it's actually the 9th, isn't it? Because the 7th and 8th.
I apologize. It is the 9th.
The 9th, yeah.
And then
the 7th and 8th, me and Joe McDougal will be in Indianapolis for ADT, and then we're red-eyeing back for Elitch's Saturday night, and we'll be at Elitch's to produce that. I'm going to go. Keep going.
And then the 29th, CSW Murica, be working that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get killed, so I want to pull this up really quick with Colorado Wrestling Connection. Trifecta, Saturday, July 22nd. I will be working that as well. So if you have not gotten your fill, the Sky High Guy, plenty of opportunities. I have a very busy July coming up. I believe there's also a IWC event this month, is there not?
Yes, there is. We definitely have an IWC event. I think it's called Elite, I believe. Let me double check. Now you got me wandering.
I just know that at that IWC
it is
event,
IWC Elite. We're gonna have PJ Black back. Yep. I'm excited. Matt Cross again, Filter.
I'm excited for that. I am excited for my girl Tyra Rusami, or excuse me, that's Joey's girl. Sorry. My homie.
Yo, someone clip that and send it to Joey right now.
It's like I call most of my female friends my girl. That's Joey's girl. My homie, Tyra Rusami, my mentor, my big sister in the business, is taking on Hija de la Fuerza Guerrera.
Who we had the pleasure of seeing last month. Live commentary.
Daughter of the legendary Fuerza Guerrera himself and sister of Juventud Guerrera. She was amazing out there. Tyra's amazing out there. That's going to be a hard-hitting match, so you ain't going to want to miss that.
Oh, yeah. That'll be fun. Yeah, man, we got a lot of good wrestling coming up here in Colorado. And again, you can follow Schylar, my man, on Facebook. Schylar Ashwood on Facebook.
I'm actually more active on Instagram at Sky High Guy, SCHYHIGHGUY.
There you go.
Follow me there. Follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Twitter, and follow Rocco for more interviews with the amazing talent here in Colorado wrestling. I feel like I'm going into broadcaster mode here.
You do go into broadcaster mode because it's what you do best. But don't forget, this man also has a Twitch. So if you like watching video games, sometimes they're on.
Skyro the Dragon. Skyro, not
Skyro the Dragon. Okay.
I haven't streamed in a very, very long time, but I'm to that point where I think I could do that with Tears of the Kingdom. I could probably do that with Street Fighter 6. Amazing games, by the way. Pick those up. And yeah, I assume we're headed towards a wrap up here.
Yeah, we're right here, brother. I love you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, one more time, check out Monster Factory on Apple TV Plus. I promise Danny K's just not have a gun to my head right now, making me say that. Love you, Danny.
I appreciate you, Schylar.
Yeah,
and I'll be seeing you July 9th. I'll be a dead man, so I'm gonna be leaning on you. Okay, I'm gonna need that. I need that love. Hopefully, you had fun in New York recently. I'm glad to have you here on the sweet spot. And yeah, man, I will be seeing you here soon, dude. We're gonna be making magic. We got years ahead of us. Okay, let's think about that. Years ahead of us here to create magic. Take this scene over, baby.
Come out and experience the magic with all these great promotions and more that you see above your head. And until next we meet, play fair, be nice, and watch wrestling responsibly. I'm Schylar Ashwood.
Never forget your Tupperware.
Never forget your Tupperware. I forgot my Tupperware for this podcast. Damn it. Shame on me.
Part two. Part two. It's even better. We got the fuel. Love you guys. That's been the sweet spot. I'm Rocco McSweets. That was Schylar Ashwood, one of my really close friends. I absolutely enjoy that individual. I could talk to them for hours and hours and hours to come. That's just 2. Part 2 is going to be what, 4? So I'll see you guys here soon. This has been the sweet spot. Like, follow, share, Shady Sports Network, Instagram, Twitter, all the social medias. We're on it. I love you guys. I'm going to leave you with a little bit of high five, dude.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.